Good. All right, welcome everybody. September 8th, first meeting of the month. Can we please rise for the pledge? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all the men and women who sacrificed their lives to give us our opportunity to serve our country and our town. Thank you. Oh, here we go. Hotspot window service. I don't want that. Okay. So tonight is a public hearing. Kyle, you want to start off the meeting with our little header?
The meeting tonight is for the conduct of town business by the town board. The public is invited to participate at the items marked on the agenda, public comment. During that segment of the meeting, if you have a question or comment for the supervisor, please raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged. Please state your full name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation.
Thank you. All right, so as I said, tonight's a public hearing on a local law of the town of Marlborough, Ulster County, New York, amending various provisions of Chapter 155 zoning of the Code of the town of Marlborough as follows, amending Section 155-1, terms defined, adding an additional permitted accessory use to Section 155-12B, R1 residential district, adding an additional permitted accessory use to Section 155-12C, RAG1 rural agricultural district, and adding a new Section 155-32.6, detached accessory dwelling units on single-family properties. So anybody have any comments could come on up. This is the time to make your comments on our ADU. Mickey or whoever, or Cindy, whoever wants to come first, come on up. Yeah, come on up, Cindy, just for the recording. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cindy Lancetta, and I live in Marlborough.
It's not on, Cindy.
There you go.
Okay, and I just want to make it clear that I'm here as a resident, not representing anybody but myself. And I want to just say, first of all, that I think putting the information and the zoning changes in for ADUs, which I just want to explain again that that's an accessory dwelling unit, is a really good idea. I know the state is very anxious for towns to be putting these things into their town codes because they believe, the state believes that this is a way to help with the situation of affordable housing and the lack of really housing for anybody nowadays. It's really getting harder and harder to find an apartment for your kids or maybe something for your mother who needs to be close by. And so to be able to have ADUs and the ability to utilize those is, I think, a really good idea. The only thing that I would like to call, not the only thing, but there are some things I would like to call to your attention because I feel like we really need to take a look at this a little more because we could expand the definitions and the zoning. I really think this is something that would benefit not only the ag rural areas, the residential one, but because you have sewer and water, it's something I think that the town should contemplate for the residential areas as well. Because it might be that somebody has the ability to put a apartment above their garage. And they, as I said, in some ways it'll be easier for them than some of the other more rural areas because they'll already have the sewer and water. And there are also special programs that are available if you have a variety of ADU units where, well, I'll just read this to you. It says right now that Ulster County assists low and moderate income property owners with grants of up to $125,000 to construct or rehab their code-compliant accessory dwelling units. So it would be great if our residents could avail themselves of those monies. But I think the point that I'm trying to make is that it would be better if we kind of slowed down, because there are a lot of accessory dwelling units that, besides being separate, from the house, can also be incorporated onto a house. There are some other types that are, there's attached, which are internal, like maybe a basement apartment, mother-daughter situations. And then there's, of course, detached, which would involve garage conversions and cottages and things of that nature. So I guess what I would like for you to think about is, first of all, that this is relatively new, that you just passed this. You'll be hearing public comments tonight, but you'll still be waiting on the county comments, because the county hasn't taken a look at this yet. The town planning board hasn't really taken a look at this yet. They're going to discuss it at the next planning board meeting. So I'm glad you're getting input now, but I would hope that you consider holding the public hearing open.
We are.
And,
we're not closing the public hearing tonight.
Okay, well, that was my only, that was one of my main concerns, is that, it's a good start, but I think maybe we should
Yeah,
think
we're
about.
not going to close the public hearing because we want a lot of input, because this is a brand-new law. What we're trying to do is what you exactly said, is try to make some affordable housing units available to people throughout the town for various reasons, as you mentioned. So, yeah, we don't want to rush it. That's why we even adjusted it from the first revision. But yeah, we plan on keeping this open at the very least until the next meeting, at the very least. And if we need to, we can keep it open longer. I'm not in a rush to pass this. I just want to make sure it's right the first time, so.
Well, that's great. And like I said, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good start. I'd like to see you expand the definitions and the zoning as well. And I thank you for the opportunity to address you.
Thank you. Mickey?
Thank you. Mickey Simonovsky, Marlborough, New York. I too think that this is a great thing to introduce into our town. And I just read the code, which is pretty extensive and kind of hard to follow if you don't know a lot about zoning code. But I had a couple of questions. I know that when it was first introduced, it is to complement what the Ulster County has already started to encourage. So I had a couple questions about that, because I did not have the opportunity to really study what Ulster County's guidelines are. And so the question that I have is, does this mirror the guidelines, or not fully, but mostly? If there's something else that we need to include in the zoning code, we should be taking a good look at that. Since we don't know how many people will or might take advantage of this, and therefore we don't know its effect on our town. The question I have is, should the code also include that it be reevaluated in, say, 3 to 5 years to make sure that it's still serving the townspeople the way we want it to? And going along with what I first said, does the county have any time frames on their end of how long this is going to be lasting through the county offering these incentives? And another question, so say somebody took advantage of this opportunity, they put us a detached unit for rental on their property, and they, within the 10 years that the county says it should be there for 10 years, a minimum, the apartment, the property owner will agree to rent the apartment at an affordable rate for a minimum of 10 years. I did not see anything in our code that said it had to be rented at an affordable rate. So if that kind of defeats the purpose.
Well, that's a county incentive, not a town incentive, so we would leave it up to the county. If you're going to do that, this has always been the issue with the counties direction on this. They have not come to any conclusion on how they're going to police this. Like you said, they have a 10-year policy for distributing this money, but they don't have a policy yet on how they're going to police that. Like, how you're going to police that? Are you still renting it at an affordable rate, right?
But
And that
our code-
hasn't been determined yet.
Yeah.
So for us to put it in our code, it has nothing to really do with us. You're getting a grant directly from the county. And again, I think as Tom said last time, there's a very limited amount of these grants available. There's literally like 8 to 10 of them that are going to be available to the public out of the whole entire county. They're using the money that's coming, they have money left over from the ARPA money
Right.
from, right? So whenever that's exhausted, I believe they have $1 million, if I want to make sure, I forget what the number was.
I just lost it.
But they have X amount of dollars and they're trying to deplete.
1 million, you said?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like 8 to 10 households are actually going to be
Right.
able to get this grant.
Right.
They originally started out with $80,000, and their last revision of it went up to the $120,000. A lot of the legislators want them to reduce it to, like, say, 40 or 50,000, so more people would have been able to take advantage of it, but they didn't. But I don't think we put anything in our code for the 10 years because it's really that's through the county, has really nothing to do with us.
Well,
I mean, we're trying to allow people to have affordable housing or accessory units. A lot of it, to me, is more for, like, I think what Cindy hit on, elderly parents or children that want to stay here in the community. It helps with that. Because short-term rentals has been eating up a lot of the affordable renting units throughout the county. So, because obviously you can make $300 to $500 a night instead of $1,200 a month or $1,500 a month or whatever it might be, you're probably going to do that. So this is a way to help with some of the housing crisis that we have throughout the whole state, right? So,
Well, I guess my concern is that the code actually supports the intention, and the intention is to make units more affordable.
Yeah.
So it doesn't say affordable, I don't think, in our code, and so
no,
that's why I'm
it
just
doesn't
asking.
actually say that. I just don't know. We'll discuss that as a board,
Yeah.
because I mean, it's a good point. I just don't want to limit it. I mean, obviously, that's the point, but, I did discuss this with the code enforcement officer today too, is, I think you had this question about what happens if you sell it, I think
That
last
was my
time, and
last
stuff like
question,
that. So it is transferable to the next person if they want it. If they don't want an ADU, because obviously if you have an ADU, you're going to get taxed on it, right? As eventually, the first year is you get an exemption and stuff like that. But after that, you're going to get taxed on it. So if you buy the property with an ADU on it, you can keep it, keep that assessment, or you can revert it back. And if you revert it back, you'd have to go through a whole process of reverting it back to, say, a garage, or you'd have to take all the stuff out that's inside, like a kitchen, if you had a kitchen in there, what have you. And that would have to be inspected and verified.
So is that also part of the code? Or is that in a different area of the code?
That's why I brought it up today. Should we actually have that in the code? or not?
Yeah.
So that's a point. The other question I had for him was, if you're in some of these districts, you may have more than 1 acre, right? So you got to have a minimum 1 acre, but doesn't mean you don't have 5 acres, and it's all one lot. And say now you build an ADU because it's easier to do, right? You build an ADU, you don't got to go to the planning board and say you're banning an ADU. But now, 5 years down the line,
Right.
you want to sell that ADU, and you got to get a lot line revision, and you got to split it off. You can do that. You can do that. If you have the acreage and you have the setbacks, and it meets the setbacks, obviously you got to go through the planning board. You got to have frontage, 25 feet frontage onto a road. So there's a lot of things that you would need to do, but that could happen also.
And that is one thing that caught my attention, because I didn't know if it would be grandfathered in that there's never a subdivision requirement if the present owner who's building this decides to sell it. And I think that should be someplace written so that people absolutely know that if it reverts to...
I could see it happen. I just, I could definitely see that happening somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I can see it happen too. I can see it causing a lot of confusion as opposed to actually happening. And if our codes aren't clear, then we wind up having a lot of
Absolutely.
horrible things for 2 different boards having to decide, or possibly 3.
All right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So Scott, if you do have more than 1 acre, can you have more than one?
No, You
900?
can only have one ADU per lot, per your lot, right? So if your lot's 1 acre, or if it's 10 acres, right? You can only have one.
Okay,
But somewhere down the line, say 2 years down the line, you're saying, well, I built this ADU for my kid, and my kid still decided to move to Arizona, wherever they wanted to move, right? And now I got this ADU, and I really don't need it, so I might as well try to split it off and sell it. And then they would have to go through you got to go to the building department, get a permit, you'd have to have it, go to the planning board, you'd have to get it subdivided. It'd be like a two-lot subdivision, kind of, right? You have to go to the assessor's office, get reassessed probably now. But, yeah, there's a process to that.
okay.
So, and, there's a couple other things that came up, we talked about too, like in the C1 district and the business district. There are actually a couple lots that are an acre. You don't think about that district can have an acre lot, but they could. So we didn't include those in the code. So we're thinking about, should we add that in there or not? Because the acre is the minimum, so if you don't have an acre, you can't do it. But if you did have an acre, you could do it. So there's things like that, water and sewer, there's things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of scenarios that could come up that we still got to look at. So that's why I don't want to close the public hearing. I want to keep it open, and I want to get as many feedback and questions and answers that we can get from everybody. That's the way you should do this, so.
So if it's an ADU then, Scott, it doesn't have to go to the planning board? Is that what you're saying?
An ADU would not have to go to the planning board, no. It would have to go through the building department, it would have to go through all the procedures of building, like you were building a garage or an accessory to your house, right? It's an accessory dwelling unit, but you don't have to go to the planning board, as long as you meet the criteria of the code, right? You have to meet. But if later on you decide to split it off and you had the proper acreage and the proper setback, then you definitely have to go to the planning board, and again, it becomes like a two-lot subdivision.
So, and also for the guidelines for the funds that the county is providing, is that published yet? What are those
I think the county,
Yes.
I think it's this year,
I mean,
but it's until the funds run out. So,
yeah, but it's published though. What is the guidelines?
Yeah, it's called the Plus One ADU Home Program, and you can look it up on the county website.
It's on the website? Thank you.
yeah, I don't want to get everybody's hopes up out there that the county's giving you $120,000, everybody that wants to do this. It's going to be very, very limited. I'm not even 100% sure how they're going to choose the people, but again, if they only have $1 million and they're giving out 120, you could do the math. There's not a lot of people that are getting it out of the entire county. So it sounds great, and it is great that they're doing it, but it's only going to probably hit about 8 people, maybe, somewhere in that range.
So it's 0.001% of the people?
Yeah, so but look, they're trying to make a point that we need affordable housing throughout the county, and they're trying to do what they can in order to do it. And they've been asking towns and municipalities, they've come to our supervisors meeting and asked us to try to get this stuff into our codes. We looked at it, and we all think it's a good idea. So, anybody else have any other comments on ADUs? All right, having said that, I'm not going to close the public hearing. We're going to keep the public hearing open for further comment. Again, this has been referred to the county and to our planning board. We'll get those comments back.
No comments, question. Is there a specific period of time that you have to hold open for the public comments?
No, I could keep it open as long as the board chooses. There's no specific time. We could keep it open a long time. So, we'll keep it open until we think we got it right. Because every time we make a change, there's there is a process in that when we make changes. So I'd rather get all the public comments back in one shot and then come up with a new layout and then do it in one shot. So, because I don't want to, we don't want to come back 6 months from now and say, oh, you forgot something. So that's what we're trying to avoid. We've done that a couple times. So, all right, thank you. So we're going to move on past the public hearing. Again, we're going to keep the public hearing open. So anybody who has any written comments, they could send them to me via email, or any board member via email, or they could bring them to the town clerk, or they come back to the next meeting. So we did the pledge, moment of silence. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I need a motion to approve the minutes from the August 29th, 2025 Town Board meeting.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes from the August 29th Town Board meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. I need authorization to payment of the bills, $235,881.44.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
I make a motion to authorize the payment of bills of $235,881.42.
You're late to the party, man.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Just so you, public knows, I always like to tell you why some of these numbers are big. 121,000 of that is for the cap repair at the transfer station was completed this past week. That's how much it cost to repair the cap at the transfer station. So that was 121,000. We had $10,000 in our lighting district. It was this month. We had $10,000 on our final engineering bill for the North Pier. And we had $23,000 was for, oh gosh, what was I can't remember now. There was another big check for $23,000. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But big chunks of money came out this quarter. So, but anyway, thank you. Anybody have any comments specifically just on the agenda? If none on that. Reports of departments and boards. Everybody on the board got all our reports from our department heads. Does
Yes.
anybody have any comments or questions for the department heads that are in the building? Does any of our department heads have anything they want to bring up that are here? Okay. So, oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, hold it till we get to public comments, all right? I just want to jump, I have presentations tonight, but I also want to jump ahead to a resolution tonight, if everybody doesn't mind, because I have an announcement tonight, and everybody been talking about it, but our assessor, Cindy, has decided to retire this year. And it was a long process to try to find someone, but Mara, who's sitting out here, was nice enough to jump from one place to another and come to the town of Marlborough. So what I want to do is I got to read a letter from, where the heck did it go? I got to read a letter from our assessor first. And it's very short and sweet, if I could actually find it here. Hey, you know what? I just had it here.
Probably stuck to something. Here it is.
All right, I didn't give it to you, did I? Oh, here it is. I got it. Here it is. It's very short and sweet. It's from Cindy Hilbert. It says, Supervisor Corcoran and Town Board, please accept this letter of my resignation from the position of Town Assessor. My resignation will become effective on September 30th, 2025. Thank you, Cindy Hilbert. If anybody knows Cindy, that's Cindy. That's just how she is. But seriously, Cindy's put many years and many hours and many good times into the town of Marlborough. I know being in the town hall, most of the day she makes everybody's day happy, especially by bringing food and lunch to everybody. But she's done a lot of wonderful things for our town, and we couldn't be happier that she's going to be able to retire. She is actually going to stay on for a little while, and she's going to help Mara get acquainted with everybody throughout the town, because farming is a little different for her. I don't know if you want to come up a minute, Mara. I just wanted you to come up for a second, please, and tell them where you came from. I'm going to put you on the spot. So this is the face you're going to see when you come to the assessor's office and cry about your assessment.
Hello, everyone.
So,
Mara.
Can you hear me
Mara's-
okay? My name is Mara. I'm currently the deputy assessor for the town of Poughkeepsie in Dutchess County. So we have about 4 farms. I'll be multiplying that by about 50-fold or so here. I also assess for the town of Platic Hill part-time next door. So I'm an Ulster County resident for almost 30 years, and I enjoy what I do. I'm happy to talk with anyone, any questions, open door policy. Cindy has some very wonderful shoes to fill, so I look forward to doing my best and meeting you all.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yes, like I said, we're very fortunate enough to be able to have her come into our town. And what I want to do, so she could get out of here tonight, so she feels comfortable, we're going to jump to our resolution on that for her, so she knows that, yes, we are actually hiring her. So this is Resolution 77, to appoint the full-time assessor. And this is short and sweet too, so it's nothing big. But Resolution 77, to appoint a full-time assessor, supervisor, court composes the following, whereas the forthcoming retirement of the town of Marlborough assessor, Cindy Hilbert, the town of Marlborough has the need to fill a position, and whereas the advertisement was placed in the local newspaper for open positions, and whereas the town supervisor interviewed qualified candidates, and whereas the recommendation of the supervisor to appoint Mara Rothman, be it resolved that exercising its power under the town law and real property tax law of the state, that the town board of the town of Marlborough hereby appoint Mara Rothman to the position of the town of Marlborough tax assessor for the term commencing September 30th, 2025 and ending September 30th, 2031, and moves for its adoption.
Councilmember Sessa.
Yes.
Councilmember Kauki.
Yes.
Councilmember Zambito.
Yes.
Supervisor Corcoran.
Yes, absolutely. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you. And as our previous assessor, I'll probably never see you again. In this room. That's what I mean. Upstairs, I'll see you all the time. But anyway, thank you. Thanks for coming. And okay, so now we're going to go to presentations. And Chris was on our agenda last time, but we didn't have enough people, so I have to have him come up today. And so, as Chris is walking up, this is the letter that I received from him. He's writing to formally request relief from the Town Code, Section 130-14.16, private roads, A, as it pertains to the proposed Mitchell 7 lot, the subdivision at 1559 Route 9W, currently before the planning board. So in Section 130-14.16A, it actually, which is kind of an odd thing, that the town board actually has the ability to give a waiver, per se, on the 4-lot subdivision on a private road. He wants to do a 7-lot subdivision. 2 of the lots have secondary access, which means they're exempt from the code, which means that leaves 5, right? Which we could only do 4 on a private road. So in order to possibly get 5, Chris is here to ask the town board and explain why we should give that 5th exemption, right? Did I sum that up? I just also want to tell you, this is I'll put this up as he's going. But this has to also there's recommendations from the highway superintendent. In his original letter, he was nervous about the distance, the shortness of the cul-de-sac and the grade, and that it would have to be put up to town code. And then he came back with it, not recommending that it be a town road because of the maximum grade of 14%, and whereas the slope on a private road would exceed 10%. So basically, he was saying that this road is not suitable currently for a town road. So I think that's why Chris wants to do as a private road, but again, he needs an exemption from us if he wants that extra lot. So go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, thank you. That sums it up pretty well. But I just want to make clear that I'm not here just trying to cram as many lots as I can on a private road. The story with this project is the initial proposal for the subdivision was for these 6 new lots to be on a town road. And at that time, the highway superintendent was presented with the road design that met all the requirements of a town road, per the town road code section. But since the road was kind of short and it was at the maximum allowable grade for town roads, which was 10%, the highway superintendent ultimately recommended that it not be adopted as a town road. And my conversation with him was basically, you know, it would be difficult for him to plow and because of how steep it was, and his trucks would have difficulty with it. So ultimately he said he wasn't interested in adopting it. So despite meeting all of the town road specs, it still wasn't deemed acceptable for a town road. So I'm here basically seeking a variance of that. So trying to gain the one additional lot, as you mentioned, on the private road to achieve my original 6 new lot objective. And that's really the gist of it.
So, Chris, I guess the main question is, what would be the reasoning we should consider adding an extra lot? I mean, the reason, I just, you know, give you some background. The reason why we had passed this was changed a while ago because we were having many issues with private roads and subdivisions, and we felt that 4 was the comfortable number. Once you got above that, we started seeing a lot of issues throughout the town. We still, to this day, have some issues with some of these developments that were built. So I guess the question would be, for me, is what would be the reasoning for us to go against our own code and approve this, which we can do, as our code also gives us that ability to do.
Okay, so I suppose I could say the town won't have any responsibility for the road, right? There's no sewer, no water. The maintenance of the road will be entirely covered by the lot owners through a private maintenance agreement. So that's one, you know, the town won't be responsible for anything. But really the crux of it is my original design met all town road criteria, and still it was just not deemed acceptable. So it kind of leaves me hanging with my original proposal.
And Chris, there's nowhere else in the project that this road could go that would make it less of an incline?
No, unfortunately, this lot sits pretty low from 9W, and that funky shape it has takes the, I guess, less steep path down the hill. I'm sure there's a better way to say that, but yeah, that's why it is shaped that way.
Dave, you got questions?
So I think my question would be, and I can tell you from experience, whether it's 3 houses on a private road, 5, 7, 9, if it was possible, we're all going to have the same problem, and that is considerably present day, people tend to buy a house and flip it 12 months later or 36 months later, leaving the new owner having no idea that there was never like a road maintenance agreement. What's the intentions on a road maintenance agreement? And I don't want to hear, oh, don't worry, there's going to be a road maintenance agreement. We would have to have something legally in writing. I don't know if we could put it in a deed, because this is what presents a problem. I see it all throughout the town. And I think that was part of the reason why we put it to 4, because it was a little bit easier to make an agreement with 4 people rather than additional. I don't think this is talked about enough at the planning board or any of these boards. And I think that would be a main concern. We want to make sure that not only the original owner of the dwelling is going to be okay with having an agreement, but also down the road, because these houses could change 3 times in 10 years.
Right. Yeah, so these private agreements do go with the deed of the lot, so that is transferable from owner to owner to owner.
I understand that, but like when you say the agreement is transferable, how do we know there's an agreement in place? Because we've heard this before. And then it turns out that, well, my brother-in-law was plowing the place, but that person now sold the house and the brother-in-law no longer does it, and everybody's hanging in limbo, and they all think they're going to, the brother-in-law was doing it for $500 a house, and now a contractor comes in and says, this is going to be 10 grand a season, the snowplow even, and everybody goes crazy, and the next thing you know, there's an emergency, and they're calling the highway department. I can't get an ambulance in my driveway. There's 6 inches of snow. It creates many problems, and the more houses that are there, obviously, is going to create a bigger problem.
Understood, yes. In order for the subdivision to even go through the planning board process, it needs to be in place. So that gets drawn up by the owner's attorney, and
Okay.
all the owners have to sign, and it goes with the lots.
So who is maintaining this road when it's complete? Are you,
Not me.
No?
No, the responsibility of it gets divvied up amongst the owners.
Right.
So I personally live on a private road, and I have to deal with every year, who's gonna plow the snow? So I, get bids, I pool my money from all the neighbors, and I deal with it every year. So I do understand the hassles of it, but
Well, the hassle is that it only takes one person on the
It
road
sure
to
does.
say, I'm the second house, why am I paying to have it plowed all the way to the last house, or why am I paying an equal amount? There's a lot of things that come up, and quite honestly, it's a big problem.
I think the other part of this equation is if the road meets the spec for a town road, but we're saying that it's too steep for the trucks to handle, which I totally understand, but does the spec need to be changed then? Because maybe the spec is not,
the 10 to 14% grade, you mean?
yeah.
I don't know if it's technically just our spec. I think it's a statewide spec for those types of roads.
Okay.
Like a lot of our roads that we currently, not a lot, but a few of our roads in our town, I'm sure a lot of you know, probably don't meet the current specs, right?
Yeah.
Dock Road being one of them is a toughie, Mount Rose, Purdy, right? A lot of these roads in today's code would not pass
Yeah.
muster, right? So what we trying to do is to avoid those situations. I mean,
Yeah, which makes total sense. I just wonder if then we need
Yeah,
to, we
I-
should be changing the spec so that we don't have to, we're not talking about individual variances if it's a more widespread problem.
yeah. I mean, this is what John's actual response was at the end. He said that in regards to Mitchell subdivision, blah, 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 he said, since the proposed private road will exceed the maximum road grade of 14%, and whereas the slope of the private road will exceed 10%, section 130, blah, 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 47 is my opinion that the private road should not be taken by the town of Marlborough as a town road. Also, it's my understanding that the proposed road will exceed the number of lots permitted. That's what we're talking about. Based on the land and the topography is imparable for following the letter without the law causing significant hardship to the property owner. Issuing a waiver will not establish precedent. The waiver does not create a public health safety, and the waiver favors the public and the town by not having expense of maintaining the road. So he's saying he don't think the town should take it over as a town road, but he's not saying that he's against us giving a waiver. That's kind of what he's
Yeah.
saying.
So let me make this clear, because I'm confused. Your grade is too steep?
So the initial proposal that I submitted met the town road spec. It was 10%. That's the maximum allowed
Correct.
for a town road. That's when the highway superintendent, he still said, nah, it's too steep, not interested. So then I said, okay, well, I'll meet the private road spec. I'll increase it to 14% just to kind of shorten up the road a little bit, and make it a little cheaper to build. And that's what I have now. It's at 14%. It can go
Okay.
back to 10, but
Okay.
it's currently.
So at 14, it exceeds town road spec?
Correct.
But at 14, it's under the threshold for a private road?
Correct.
Okay, and you're looking for us to say you could put a private road in?
So he shortened the
No, no.
road to try to make it,
He's not looking to see that to put a private road in. He could
fifth house.
put the private
I
road in.
understand.
He's looking for an
I
exemption to
understand.
add a lot.
Okay,
Add the fifth lot.
all right, I just want to be clear on that.
Which is only, like I said, to me, I think we actually, after this is over, I personally think this is the next code we should be looking at, because I don't personally believe that the town board should be the ones looking at this. I think this is a
Yeah.
planning board process.
It's definitely a planning board
I
issue.
think it has
mean, this
nothing to
should-
do with us. How it got
I
in
mean,
the code, I don't know.
Honestly, I would feel better doing a site review. I would feel better myself
Yeah.
actually putting my feet
I think
on
we
the
should
road
do
you're
that.
talking about before I make a decision, and that's only to protect everybody. I'm not against it,
Lot number 1 is on 9W, correct?
but I could look at this map all
So,
night.
can
and
you
it ain't
point
gonna
Yeah, I
tell
know,
me.
it doesn't, unless you're on it, right?
Scott, can you see the 5 of them? So that's, the lot number 1's on 9, oh, thank you. So,
Lot 1's up by
So lot
9W.
number 1 is on 9W, so then lot number 2,
Also
lot number
has-
2, the entrance for number 2 is where?
Down at the cul-de-sac.
Okay, so 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's only 5, 6 and 7 is not part of this, right?
No, 6 and 7.
6 and 7 is private access, you take them off.
They're coming off here.
What's 6 and 7? They're already existing?
So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm seeking access for all those from the cul-de-sac, the end of the private road. I'm allowed 4 of those by code, actually 5 by code, because one of them has the frontage. So it's the last lot is what I'm seeking the variance for.
So Dave would like to have us come to the site, so we could actually see what we're, visually on the site, so we could see if this makes sense. I think,
It's only so we can make a fair decision. I'm not against it at all.
Yeah,
But looking at this map, I don't know what the topography is, I can't tell by looking at that.
Sure.
My chair is so loud.
So there's obviously nothing to see now, right? There's just,
Right.
it's woods and there's some material there,
It's
but
Hillside Drive?
it's across from
Across
Hillside
from
Drive.
Across from Hillside Drive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, on the west side of 9W, yep.
Hillside Drive is steep too.
so Chris, do me a favor, so tomorrow send me and Tina an email with the availability that you guys would be able to meet us there.
Sure.
And then I'll set up, I'll canvass the board, and we'll set up a site meeting.
Sure.
Because I think it's best that we come there, and like Dave said, we want to make a fair assessment. And, this is something that we don't take lightly, because this, we're going against our own code. And we could perceive to see issues down the road, because these private driveways have just been a nightmare for us. But again, we would like to see development as well, but we want to make sure that it's not being done at the detriment to the people that are buying the homes. And like Dave says, then 3 years down the line, they sell it, and then there's issues. So we want to make sure that that's right. So we're not saying no, we're not saying yes, but I think we should have a site visit, and then
Yeah, I agree.
we can make a
Is this thing staked
determination
out?
after that.
It's not staked out, no.
Can you
Yeah.
tell where the
Happy to
road
go.
is? And
I can eyeball it pretty good, to be honest. I can eyeball it pretty good.
Okay,
All right, let's move on. All right,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Chris. All right.
thank you.
All right. Oh, it's Miss America, Road to Miss America. Miss New York's in the house. Christina,
Mrs.
come on up. Mil- See? Wow, this is all good stuff. Oh, there it is. I was just going to say,
I didn't know this.
where is it? You got to wear it, right? You earned it.
I would be wearing that sash to the grocery store every single day if it was me.
Would you mind if we all take a picture with you?
Yeah, I would love that.
That's
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
so I
I'd
can
be
show
happy to
them.
do that. I am.
All right, come on up.
Sure. Do you want me to go back there?
Oh, you're gonna-
We're gonna come up.
We're getting roped into this, just so you know.
She's a Marlborough resident, right? Milton.
That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna speak to you, if that's okay.
And military,
That's right.
right?
Yes, sir.
You got the whole package.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm working on it. Maybe you can help me.
Are you at Stewart's?
No, I am at the United States Military Academy. I'm at West Point,
West
sir.
Point? Oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Oh,
Yes,
wow,
sir.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really an honor. It's an honor to be with you all tonight. And I just wanted to say good evening, council men and women, and thank you for taking the time to speak with me tonight and share my story. As you mentioned, I am a proud Milton resident. I was born in Newburgh. Gail, hi, what's going on? I didn't see you there. Everybody is related and knows this town. And I joined the Army right out of college. I've been in the Army 22 and a half years. I'm a colonel actively serving. At West Point, I'm in charge of a regiment, which means that I do nothing more than wrangle 1,200 cadets every day. And they work me. They make me work for my paycheck, I can tell you that. And I had the privilege of 2 months ago being crowned Mrs. New York. And to understand how does an Army officer pivot to pageantry, I figured if you would indulge me, I'd tell you a little bit about
that
the
would be
road
great.
that
I'm
got me
curious
here.
myself here.
Yeah. I am too some days. 3 years ago, I was a battalion commander in Hawaii where I was responsible for an intelligence battalion that was leading the intelligence fight against China. And I was at the top of my military career. And in that year that I was selected for battalion command, only 9% of women were given that role that year. And I got pregnant in it, not what I had planned to do, and it was a pretty tough day. I thought I had lowered the glass ceiling. I thought I had let some people that really stood behind me down. And it was tough, but I said, you know what? A pregnant soldier is still a soldier. I'm going to show them that I can do this whole thing while pregnant, and I did. I was pushing Humvees at 9.5 months pregnant and still doing physical training with my soldiers. Wow. But 16 weeks into that pregnancy, my son was born with diagnosed with spina bifida myelomeningocele, and that is a neural tube defect that impacts the brain and development, and it impacts continence, and it impacts mobility. And the doctor told me, your son would not be able to walk, he would not be able to go to the bathroom without intervention, and he would be significantly developmentally delayed. And that became the actual worst day of my life. And so they toyed around with some options. They said to us, well, you can terminate the pregnancy, or you can determine if you qualify in utero, or you can just wait it out and see what happens. And it was a hard decision for my husband and I, but I said to myself, I've never quit anything in my whole life, so how could I quit my son? But it wasn't as easy as that, because even though I had worked in the White House and I was commanding a battalion, I had jumped out of airplanes and I'd done all this crazy stuff that you would never expect the captain of the Marlborough cheerleaders to do coming out of high school, I thought that I could parent Christian without problem. But that was not the case. When Christian came, my world had changed, and I was crushed under the weight of becoming a mother. I was crushed under the weight of being an active duty Army officer in charge of a battalion, and I was crushed under the weight of his care. There has not been a day that goes by, to include today, from the day that we were diagnosed, that I don't do something for my son's medical care. Until I found pageantry, and I saw that Madison Marsh, an Air Force officer, had been crowned Miss America, and I was like, we could do this stuff? And I said to my husband, if the Air Force can have Miss America, then the Army sure can have Mrs. America. And he was like, there is no Mrs. America. And I was like, well, we're just going to see about that. And I found that there was, and there was Mrs. New York, and I signed up, and I didn't tell my husband, like all good wives do. And I said, hey, I am going to be Mrs. Hudson Valley. And so for the last 18 months, I served in that role. And I was crowned Mrs. New York in June. And I competed in Mrs. America 2 weeks ago, and I placed top 6, which is not as high as I wanted to go, but it was for, as all the other women that were on stage next to me, they had been doing this for their whole life. I just had started this 18 months ago. But I didn't care. I didn't care if I was crowned Mrs. America or not, because my journey was not about the crown. It was about helping people like my son. And so my goal as Mrs. New York is to spread awareness of spina bifida, to gain policy traction and increase the budget associated with spina bifida. Right now, only $4 for every New Yorker, there's 4,000 of them with spina bifida, is allocated, and then the rest of the money that the Spina Bifida Association of New York relies on is through fundraising from families like my own. And so I was, with the help of a lot of folks in this town, the highest fundraiser for spina bifida in the last 2 years in New York State. So it's my goal to advocate for lawmakers to make it so that the families that are impacted with this condition aren't having to then pay for the support that they need, and to narrow the adult care cliff. and a whole host of other things that I want to do for this year. But why I came to the town board is because I'm here to serve, and I wanted to let everybody know that I was here and to keep me in mind for your schools and for your police forces or your fire departments or anywhere that I can use this for good for this community, and to also petition for any ways that there are pieces of the regulation that would accommodate what I'm trying to do, and to work and partner with you in ways that can help further the cause for my son and the 4,000 New Yorkers just like him. And also to elicit your support on 4 October, we will have the 2nd annual walk-in roll. We had one last year. It was the first ever local presence for the Hudson Valley of the national fundraiser, and Meet Me in Marlborough was kind enough to partner with us, and we had a very successful showing last year at the Bounty Festival, and we hope to have another one in a couple weeks. So anyway, that's my story, that's my shtick. I'm grateful for the time tonight. I'm grateful to support and serve the community that made me, and then I avail myself to questions from the board or the townspeople.
That's a beautiful story.
Yes.
Were you at the
I've met you before.
Yeah, at the memorial
Yeah, oh yeah, I make it a point.
parade? You spoke there?
You got the information, Ed?
I make it a point when I'm back at home, whether in this capacity or not, to speak at all
I'll
of
make
the
some copies for
schools
everybody.
and at the Veterans
We
Day
can put
event.
it on
So
our
yeah, I
site.
spoke at Memorial Day.
Great.
But I did meet
All
you.
right.
I'm glad you look familiar to me.
Yeah, we'll scan it in and we'll put it on our site. Yeah.
Thank you, Ed. I got to thank the American Legion Post 124. They've been amazing to me, so I want to give them a round of applause.
That's a very inspirational story. I mean, God bless you to go through that. And that's a hard decision to have to make at that time, especially all the stress that you were probably under on your current position that you were in. And then that you had that, but it's very inspirational, and it's inspiring that someone from little town of Milton can do all that and come back to our town and still participate and give back to the community that you came from. We really appreciate that. And anything we can do, the Bounty Fest or any event that you would need us to participate in, we're here.
I appreciate it, sir. I do. I've been all over the world, literally, and this is the singular place in the world that breathes life into me. So
No, it's a
I'm
beautiful
grateful
place.
to be back.
Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank
6th
you.
place is like,
I consider
It's-
myself
it's
four,
pretty
race
good.
four, between 4 and 6, but I'm telling everybody that I got four.
hey, that's great. Like you said, they've been doing it their whole lives,
I
right?
know. I was like
So-
the outcast. I did pretty good.
That's
I
awesome.
was like the dark horse. Next time. I don't know.
Next time.
Thank
Next
you,
time.
Councilman.
Thank you.
Councilman. Thank you for having me.
All right. Oh, Sharon.
Christina, that was Mrs. USA, and now you're going on to Mrs. America?
No, this is Mrs. New York. Mrs.
Yeah.
America.
She tried to miss it.
It happened. Okay.
Yeah, and Miss America happens to have a different system, but Miss New York's
Awesome. Congratulations. Amazing.
Yeah, she went to this one.
How was the event yesterday? The fundraiser for it. Then what was the fundraiser yesterday at the park for?
Oh, okay. That's funny. All right. So I got Meg Thompson, Marlborough Community Day. Come on up, Meg. I've been waiting for a while.
Hi, I'm Meg Thompson. I'm in Marlborough, and I'm here today to request the town to waive the fee for the community center on Saturday, June 13th, for a community sign-up day. We were originally kicking around Community Day, but I was told the police department did something like that in the past,
Yeah.
so like sign-up day or something like that. And then also biannually going forward in the spring and fall, should it be a successful event. I proposed it to the rec committee, and we all thought it was a good idea, but we would need the support of the town to use that space to consistently for it to be successful. I grew up in South Jersey, in Wildwood, and Wildwood's amazing during the summer, and then everyone rolls up the carpets after Labor Day. So it takes a broad community effort to create activities for the people that live there year-round. So our township building would have these sign-up days, and that's where we would go enroll in sports. So things like softball and field hockey, and even like photography and 4-H and community organizations that are outside of just this town gathered for the kids and adults alike to come sign up to participate in activities and organizations, and even altruistic activities like fundraising and volunteerism. I think it's a great space and opportunity to do something like that in Marlborough for the surrounding areas, and to invite organizations like, youth soccer and youth football and the Scouts and the other organizations to come at no cost and, introduce the community to their organizations and to be able to sign up and participate in the upcoming seasons.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, what do you guys think?
I love it, obviously.
I know you like it, right?
Yes.
I mean-
No, I do. I mean, I think, Meg, the only tricky part is just going to be working with each of the organizations to make sure that there's an ability to actually sign up when you're there. I sit on the baseball board, as you know, and I just, unless you give them a lot of notice, they won't have the upcoming calendar and the ability to sign up that far in advance, but I think that's obviously pretty surmountable as long as we communicate with each organization.
Yeah, I thought so. We could potentially do it like in the fall for the spring, but what you said, they need lots of time. So if we plan for June, ideally 9 months is enough time notice, but.
No, it's plenty of time. They may not be ready is my only thing, so they have to get on board.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I mean, anything to get our youth involved, because instead of sitting behind a TV and playing video games for 6 hours a day, anything we could do to get them involved and signed up in athletic sports or any kind of activity whatsoever. I think it also would be a good idea to even have organizations that just have flyers that they want to hand out to the public, that for upcoming events or different things that they might be having. I think it's a good idea for that too. So, I mean, that's why we have a community center. That's why we built it. So, I think the more it's used, the better it shows off the town of Marlborough. And I'm fine with it. And I know we have it in the book, right, already, Kyle?
I believe you spoke with them.
Spoke to Emily. I know she just wanted to make sure we got the board approval. So I'll make a motion that they can use the community center. Was the 12th?
June 13th?
Saturday, June 13th.
13th.
26th.
Yep.
It's planning in advance, and I love it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go, Meg. You're all good.
And Meg, if I can help with anything, just let me know.
All right. Anybody got any old business, or new business? Old or new?
It's not really new business, but as you know, the Community Fishing Day is coming up on the 27th, and I know Arlette and Jenna have been doing a lot of work to make sure that we have fish to stock the pond with for that. I think Arlette just got a pretty good deal on fish.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like she has, but I don't want to make any comment until we got it solidified and paid and
Yeah,
delivered.
I know.
Because things change.
They do.
It seems with this fishing event, things have changed drastically from morning to
It's not-
evening to the next morning. It's like,
It's not easy.
we're not getting 100% the right feedback. One fishery says you can use crappies, and another one says they don't come out till November, so I don't know what the other one was telling you, and it's back and forth. We'll get it straightened out, but I don't want to comment on what we're getting or how much we're getting until we get it in writing.
I was just going to say that I think the rec committee is using donations from the events this year to fund most of the fish at this point, but depending on what the costs come back like, we may want the town board with the rec funds that the town has to potentially kick in a little bit additional to
Well,
make sure we
I
get
can
a
tell you,
sufficient amount.
we have it covered.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, so I mean, just so everybody knows, what they're trying to do is we're having this fishing event, the rec committee, but in order to make it a successful event, you want to make sure the kids catch fish, right? That's the big thing. So in order to do that, you want to stock the pond, they say. And we used to do it periodically. We kind of got away from it in the last few years, right, Charlie? But, we now, if you notice that we've been treating the front pond, thanks to our deputy supervisor, Gail Appler's helped out. We've been getting the front pond treated, and you can see that green duckweed has been kind of been eliminated. So we're trying to do that, but this is going to be stocked in Round Pond, which is the back pond, which that's where a lot of people fish anyway too. So again, I believe they'll have it covered, but and I know you guys will figure it out.
Well, the hurdle we have right now is some of the fisheries have to clean out their stock, so
Yeah.
they typically want us to pick the fish up this Friday. But if we did that and stocked the pond, people fish there.
They fish
So
every
we're
day.
afraid people are going to catch all the fish before the 27th. So we're trying to work that out right now. I'm sure we will.
Okay.
But there's a lot more to it than just
Yep.
dumping fish in the pond and going.
Yes, it is. And just to make sure everybody understands that the date is rain or shine, right? There's no makeup day, anything like that. So that is the day, the 27th, correct?
Yes.
All right. So I got correspondence. I read Cindy's real short. Nope. I got one from Irene Canosa. So this was a successful event last year. Supervisor Corcoran, the Town of Marlborough Town Board, on behalf of the American Legion, VB Sutton, Post 124, I'm requesting use of the Milton train station on December 7th, 2025, for our second annual Pearl Harbor Day of Remembrance. We hope to make this an annual event and would appreciate the support of the council and board and assistance in information to be publicly put out to the public. We would like to start the event, what does that say? Oh,
At 1 p.m.
Man, cursive.
Yeah.
At 1 p.m. so as to allow for no interference with the individual Sundays. We would like access early to set up the display and proper guests to be at the ceremony. And thank you for this, Irene Canosa. So I don't know if anybody went last year. I did. It was a smaller ceremony, but it was a very nice ceremony put on by the Legion. A lot of good speakers, and this is remembrance of Pearl Harbor Day, which is, as they say, the day of infamy, right? I mean, it was a day when we lost a lot of Americans, brought us into a world war that we didn't want to be part of, but we did. And when we did get in, we finished the war. And, that's what America did back then, and we did take care of it. So we do want to remember this, and I think this is an awesome event. When they put the wreath into the water, I think this year you got to go further out, right? It kind of came. Yeah. So, and the speaker system, I think we could work on. So, but I mean, all in all, it was a great event, and we actually had a good weather day. But I think that's why they also want to have the train station used just in case, and they could display stuff, and people could have refreshments and things like that. So I'm definitely in favor of this. I just need the okay that they could use the train station on the 7th of December.
I'm good with it.
And we're good with it?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. All right, so we'll let Irene. Of course I'm going to be there. Of course. I hope everybody comes. I mean, did she talk to the recreation committee and the school like she was going to try to do, to try to get them involved? Because I'm sure she talked to Mike Rydell at the school. I'm sure, he's part of the Lions Club, and I know that they would be more than happy to probably participate also. So I think that'd be a good venue. All right. Here's another one from Good Morning. I spoke with Steve Jennison and Irene Canosa from the American Legion, and apparently Irene months ago reserved the request at no charge the use of the south side with the kitchen of the community center for the use of the Lions and VB Sutton American Legion 124 on October 21st for the Veterans Luncheon. It hasn't been approved as of yet, which I thought we did, but I'm going to read it again. The Marlborough Milton Lions Club requests uses of the community center Southside Kitchen at no charge on October 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And let me know if you need anything else, and that's from Frank. So yeah, this is we asked, last time they came down and they had a veteran luncheon, they have it at the hall, but it's been getting more and more populated, and there's not enough room at the Legion Hall. So I had offered them at the time, if they needed to have a bigger event, they could use the community center. So this is what this is about. So I think this is a great event. And again, October 21st for the community center, waiving the fees. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. All right, we're good. That's it. So I had a correspondence. I just want to let everybody know publicly. When I get like emails or correspondence, or I get complaints into my office and they're signed by someone that's anonymous, I don't respond for the most part. You have to put your name on it, okay? You got to put your name on a piece of paper and take ownership of what you're complaining about. Not to say I'm not going to address the issue. I will. I'll talk about it tonight, but I'm not going to read your letter. And I understand people don't want to stay anonymous, and they don't want to put their names out there because of retribution or things of that nature. I just know that we all put ourselves up here to take public comments, and we answer any question that's in front of us, and we do it publicly. I think if you're going to do that, I think you should give us the same respect and give us your name. But having said that, I won't read the letter, but I will talk about, there was a question about the ambulance contract. This ambulance rumor that's been out there, the ambulance is closing and they're not going to be here, it's been going on since the day I signed the contract. A lot of the rumors have been started by some previous employees that work at other organizations now. They don't want ambulance to survive. I could just tell you, I've been here when Mobile Life was here. I've been here with ambulances here. I think ambulance is doing a fantastic job. I've gotten very little complaints, not to say I haven't gotten complaints. There's always that issue that, it took me 20 minutes for an ambulance to show up. It happens with every organization, and you could talk to every supervisor in this county, and I guarantee you there's a bunch of those every single month. It happens. It's the ambulance service throughout the state, throughout the county, throughout the country is in dire need of EMS providers. They don't get paid enough. They work too many hours. They're stressed beyond belief, and people just don't stay in the profession long. It's a very, very hard profession. So it's nothing to do with the provider. It has everything to do with the profession. But I'll give you some background, because people are asking, well, why were you looking at alternate people if the ambulance wasn't going out of business? Well, that's just good business. If you own a business, do you not prepare for the worst? Do you not prepare if something's going to happen? Do you not look at other organizations to see, can you get a better deal? I tasked my deputy supervisor, who worked a year on this, 1 year, with the emergency management and Everett Eckerson up at the county. They came back with a whole slew of recommendations of what to do and what not to do. I hosted a community event at the community center with all the surrounding communities. And at that event, Marlborough came up, and we have one of the best response times in the whole county, out of the whole county. Does anybody out there know what we pay for our ambulance service? Take a guess. Anybody? $38,625 a month. All right, so that calculates, which is not, it's cheaper than we originally had anticipated because we got more calls. It's $463,500 a year we pay for our ambulance service. Now, if everybody doesn't know, our ambulance service is based on call volume. It's kind of one of those situations you don't want to have a call, but in this situation, they need the calls. That's how they get paid. So the more calls that are out there, the lower our rate is that we get charged. We, as our board, was the first board to say we're really taking this seriously. It was the first thing that we talked about in the first year I was in office, to try to get 24/7 coverage in our town. I don't know if everybody also understood that we never had 24/7 EMS coverage in our town. We had 15-hour coverage. From 10 o'clock to 7 a.m., you didn't have no coverage sitting in the town of Marlborough. You had people coming from Newburgh or Highland at the time from Mobile Life. Mobile Life at the time was the provider for most of the Hudson Valley. I don't know if everybody knows, but they did go out of business. So luckily we did change from ambulance, because guess what? That was a rumor when I first got into office, that Mobile Life was going out of business. So what did we do? We were proactive, and we started looking at other organizations. And what happened? It came true. And we were the first people to sign with ambulance and got a great deal. I have a 5-year deal that we signed with them, and they can't raise our rates more than 3% a year. That's unheard of in any contract with an ambulance service. Give you an idea, me and Gail also met with Hudson Valley EMS consultants. This is Michael Biggs, who actually works for New Windsor. He set it up for Chester as a private. That means the town itself getting a charter, getting its own district, and providing the service direct through the town. And what that would include is we would have to do billing, we would have to pay employees direct, we would have to pay pensions, we would have to pay health care, and we would have to manage it. So just to give you an idea of what he first came back with, just the startup fees, let's see, I have it right here. Oh, I have it in a letter. Did I print it out? Yeah, I did. Here it is. Startup equipment is $550,000 to $700,000 just for an ambulance itself, the first year, just to get it. $180,000 for the specs that go into the ambulance to $240,000. Stretchers and equipment, $170,000. So just add all that up the first year just to get. This is just the equipment. It doesn't talk about people. It's $1 million first year. Then he says it's $600,000 to $800,000 a year to maintain. So this board looked at that and considered what the options were, and we said, well, we're paying $463,000 a year. We don't have to deal with management. We don't have to deal with the insurance companies. We don't have to hire the people. We don't have to pay pensions. We don't have to pay health care. And we believe in private industry that can provide a service at much better than public sometimes. As you could see, it would be $1 million up front and almost $800,000 a year if we did it private. Now there's other providers. There's New Paltz Rescue Squad, which is taking over for Lloyd in Highland, do a fantastic job. The gentleman that runs that was a Mobile Life person. A lot of people that are in those positions were Mobile Life people, because when Mobile Life left, you're going to go to these organizations because guess what? They pay better pay. Again, you get a pension, you get a health care, you get retirement, you get all those things that come with working for a public office. It's a great gig. So unfortunately, when some of these towns are doing that, they're actually taking away those EMS providers that are needed in the private sector. And sometimes that does hurt ambulance. But I could tell you, ambulance last week just bought 5 brand new ambulances locally. They just installed all new equipment down at the highway department. So can they close? Yeah. They could call me tomorrow and say, we got 2 months and we're leaving. That could happen. That could happen with anybody.
But to be clear, we have a contract.
But we have a 5-year contract. But but if they say but just understand, ambulance isn't just an ambulance provider. Okay? Ambulance is a medical company too. Ambulance is a secondary part of their business. It's a subsidiary of their business. So they have other avenues to get money. They're not solely relying on just ambulance services and ambulance payments to keep them alive. They have other avenues of income. So again, I just want to try to put these rumors to bed because I think the post that was put out there, and trust me, I do read all the posts that are on those pages. I don't tend to want to apply. I don't actually reply to them, most of them, unless in this case, I think it was a public safety thing that an anonymous person puts out there that ambulance is going out of business. What does that do? That causes someone that may pick up that phone that's having a heart attack to say, I'm going to try to get to the hospital myself because the ambulance ain't there. And guess what? They could die. That's a public safety issue in my opinion. So if you want to say something, call me up. If you have a question, call me up. I'm available all the time. Email me if you want to. And if you want to do it honestly, fine. I'll talk about it like I'm talking tonight. I'm just not going to give you a platform. Because if I have to put my name out there, I expect you to do the same. So that's all I got to say about that. All right. That's my new business. Anybody got any public comments? Come on up. You've been waiting.
Yeah, I'm all ready. I hope I can remember everything.
Can you remember?
I got like a couple things. So I do look at the reports. I know this is a little nerdy. I do look at the reports, but I'm just curious. Is there, when, on Tom's report about the complaints, is there like a summary, or are they mostly about, lawn?
Complaints?
Yeah, like.
Oh, there are a variety of things. Most of them, a lot of them are noise complaints.
Oh, all right. I was just
Dogs
curious.
barking. My neighbor's tree is hanging over our fence and it fell.
It could be a variety.
Most of it is neighbor to neighbor complaints.
Oh,
I would
all right.
I would tell you most of it. And then we tell them, it's not really a town thing. You have to go to court in order sometimes to get these situations fixed. But sometimes it is a town thing. And then, if it's a real complaint, Tom will probably call Jerry, and Jerry will probably have to take care of it, because Tom doesn't have real enforcement in that nature as far as police work.
I was just curious, not to
what do you have
belabor
to-
it,
But
but.
he has them all. Like, if
Yeah.
you ever wanted to, if you were
I was
curious,
just
it's public
curious.
knowledge, you could FOIL for it.
Yeah.
It could give you every complaint you want.
What do you
I mean-
want to watch for is the number of complaints per month.
Yeah, I do
I've been-
look at
I've been
that,
monitoring
yeah,
that,
and
so
it
if
ranges,
it
yeah.
falls within 20 to 30, it's normal.
Yeah.
Okay, if it's over 30, okay, something is wrong.
Yeah.
So-
And that is really the second thing that I noticed on the police report is, Jerry, that there were 140 vehicle and traffic citations, I guess, compared to August of last year, there were 73. Like, do we start, having people out there
No.
getting people, or?
So our ticket violations, there's several factors that go into that. One is there is special details. Buffalo, New York, DWI enforcement, special details involved. And when the officers sign up for those details, they're expected to produce. That's how we regenerate our money back, that's how we get the new grants the following year.
Oh, okay.
So depending on when those are scheduled for, we'll change my numbers from month to month. The other things are scheduled. So the easiest way to say it is the younger officers are more energetic, they're more apt to go out there and break one.
I was just going to say that, Jerry.
Seasoned officers who much rather handle the complaints that come in rather than stop cars all day long. So depending on the schedule, who gets scheduled and how it works out for the month, that may also dictate the amount of tickets we have. Weather affects their people. They don't want to run my tickets in the rain. So if we got a lot of rain, that particular month, it may be, there's lots of factors that affect it.
Don't say that, Jerry. Everybody's going to speed in the rain now.
Yeah, well, I was just kind of like curious as to how that, okay, so those were the two things. Then, I think our first football game is September 12th, Friday, right? And so I am recommending that Mrs. America be brought onto the field that morning or that evening. I think it's so cool that you're here. And I really think, I would, I love that pageantry where they come out and wave, and I really think so. If
And you
somebody-
could ask Christina, I don't know.
I think it's great. So that was the third thing. This Friday is Schooner Apollonia, which is a schooner that is under wind power. There's no motor, and they stop along the Hudson and deliver boat boxes, and there's different things in that. This is a special event where they're coming to the landing between 5 and 8. There is a film that goes along with it. You'll be able to get on the boat and tour it, and then come to the train station and view the film. The film's about 40 minutes. So spread the word. We've been doing that on Facebook, and it's just another plug tonight. And then Saturday is the Landing Fest, and that's from 5 to 8. 5 to 8, also down at Milton Landing. There'll be food with that. And then coming up, we're doing an environmental film series, the Sarah Hull Halleck Free Library, and October 18th is going to be a film shown at the community center. Thank you very much for not charging us for that. And that is called The Pollinators, and we are going to maybe ask the town if we can use a notification system. We'd like to have a honey tasting along with it, and so we can get our beekeepers to come do a honey tasting, and that will also show a film. We'll have a Q&A with the film producer, and the director will be there. Steve Clark, his farm is in there, and I think we're going to ask several of our beekeepers to be on the panel as well. So that'll be kind of a fun event. You'll see that up and coming. So that's, oh, and lastly, so.
Man, you got a lot of things going on.
I had a lot of stuff I wanted to say. So lastly, I, for the first time in my life, called 911.
You did?
They must have thought I was crazy because I kept saying, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm calling. The lady was like, what do you want? You know, what's the problem? So I called about my husband, and I have to say, they were there promptly, and I'll admit, I was at the meeting when we started up with the ambulance, and one of my concerns was addresses and being able to find the address, and you said, well, the police are always there first, and they were.
They are.
And that guy was exceptionally wonderful and reassuring to me, and he was actually dealing with me. I was a little freaked out, and the ambulance drivers were able to take care of Dan, and then the next week, I think they came down Sands Avenue again for another emergency. So I won't go into that. That resolved nicely as well. But I do appreciate, having been in healthcare for almost 50 years, I do appreciate having the ambulance service, and it's less than $500,000, and it's a bargain. You know, to be able to know that you have that is a bargain, because you never know when you're going to need it. So
yep,
a plug for that. So that's it. Come this weekend. Milton's the happening place this weekend.
Always the happening
This is
place.
America there. I think it would be great.
Well, she is from Milton.
Make it.
Oh, the boat is free. The movie is free.
Next time you got to ask to be on presentations. That's all I got to say.
Oh, I could even come with slides. I could come with slides if you want. I love that. So, all right. I guess that's it. Thank you.
You make a good cheerleader, Milton cheerleader.
Everybody with my cane. All right.
Oh, don't forget your... I will say, actually, I forgot to say that you're 100% right. Our police officers are usually on the scene first for every incident. So they are very well trained in, basic paramedics, but they're very reassuring to the people when they get there, and they help out. And it happened to me, and the chief personally came to my house for me. I didn't know who he was at the time because I was so out of it, but he did come, and then the ambulance took me away. But yes, so they do a great job. Anybody else have any other public comments? Tim, come on up. Ted, come on. What did I say?
Tim.
Closer.
Now we need to follow Mary Beth.
You have to have a lot more energy than that.
All right. Now you got the 3 minutes.
follow, yeah.
Charlie's got the 3-minute talk around you.
Dear Supervisor Corcoran and town board members, the Marlborough Democratic Committee would like to honor the memory of former Assembly member, the late Frank Scartatos, in a meaningful way and for public view. We also wish to support the contributions of the Marlborough Arts Coalition in giving visibility to the creations of local artists that were displayed in the Apple Parade. Marco has helped to further define Marlborough as a welcoming center for artists of all media, and Frank's leadership brought over $1 million to our town, not only for the Marlborough Community Center, but also for the improvement of other town assets like the Highway Department and town sidewalks. We understand the town board approved the hanging of the Assemblyman's photo inside the community center. We would like you to also entertain an additional tribute to Frank that would also benefit Marco by purchasing the apple designed by Shoshana Elize. Her design is reminiscent of how Frank once described his love for Marlborough, explaining how our town reminded him of his home in Greece. This particular apple would be fitting to his memory. Because the Assemblyman was so instrumental in obtaining $250,000 for the renovations of the Tom Back building to become a community center, we feel it is appropriate to give his memory proper public acknowledgement at that location. It will also complement and enhance the beauty of the entrance. The apple could be placed outside the community center, but sheltered under or close to the overhang, or perhaps in the vicinity of the flagpole. This way, it would be visible to those who enter the building, but also from the road. Its uniqueness should encourage people to view the apple and the plaque of dedication to Assemblyman Scartatos, which the Marlborough Democratic Committee would create and place with your approval. Details can be ironed out, but we understand the apples will be sold or auctioned in October. We will only purchase it if we know the Scartatos apple will be visibly placed at the community center, so we ask you to consider our request and advise us of your approval. The Marlborough Democratic Committee shall then proceed to purchase this gift to the town. Respectfully, Ted Miller, Chair.
Oh, thanks, Ted. That's nice. I did talk to Mickey today about this, so I mean, I don't know if the board has any objections to it. It's the Apple Parade. They are going to be auctioning these off in October, and some of the proceeds are going to the artists, obviously. Some of the proceeds are going to the food bank, and you know, I loved Frank, so you know, I don't have any objections to it. But as long as you guys are okay with it, I mean, where would you guys suggest? I was thinking more towards the flagpole, somewhere in that area. I don't know. What do you think, Dave? Could you maintain it?
Well, I think it's a great idea. I would like to see it visible, but I also, if we were to put it near the flagpole, just talking to Veronica, she seems to think that you'd have to take it down in October and not put it back up till springtime. If it's outside in the elements.
Weather-wise, yeah.
So if we displayed it maybe at the entrance under the overhang, maybe that would be a better choice.
I took some pictures when I was at the center, and I do believe that it would be better closer to the overhang.
Yeah.
Or even possibly, and I'm not sure about that, but in the center, between the two entrance doors, it's kind of a blank space. I don't think it would really impede traffic because those doors aren't used all that often.
And that would be under the overhang.
The only thing I'm worried about there is we rent this to
Do you have a
lot of
picture of how
parties.
this looks like?
Kids running around there. I could just see that thing get smashed
What do you think,
somehow.
George?
That's why I'm just.
It's the same apples you see all around town.
They're about this big.
This is spitball. We have the pergola.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
we're gonna put in Cheryl's
Oh, my
pergola.
pergola.
Oh, the
Indoors, 24/7.
Up in the light.
not
We've been
bad.
saying we want to light that up. That'd be pretty cool, actually.
It would be minimal to do if it would fit through the openings. Because those windows.
Oh, yeah, no.
Gail, you got a new job, Gail. We got to light up the pergola and put an apple in it.
It's not a pergola, it's a
Two spotlights.
cupola.
Cupola. Cupola, is it?
Yeah, but I think that defeats the purpose of you being
Pergola is
able
that
to
thing
see
you
the plaque.
down on your porch.
Yeah, that's right.
Doesn't that defeat the
Cupola.
purpose of being able to see the plaque and know who it's dedicated to? That kind of.
I don't know.
No, it's from Frank,
Right.
but it is a nice idea.
Yeah.
Well, we could put it, I mean, the thing is, I just want to be, you know, I don't want you to because these things aren't actually that cheap, to be honest with you. I mean, they're a good amount of money. I think I agree with Dave. I mean, in the wintertime, that if you keep them out,
Well,
they're
if you
probably
did
not
that,
going
you'd
to
have to take them in.
You might have to take it in, but I'm just worried about it being in the building or in front of the building where people with traffic, because like, voting goes on there, kids have parties there, we have cheerleading practice there.
I think we need another site.
Football practice.
I think we need
Another
another
site
site review. Let's go down there and look at it and see what.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have to like put a picture for us.
but I think your main concern is, are we okay with it going down there? I don't think you're getting any no's
No,
here.
we're fine with it. Let's
So
just
if you
pick a
wanna
spot
go
where it's
ahead-
gonna be-
And I think,
Good.
like you said, maybe it would be a good thing to do the unveiling with the same time we do the other unveiling, and you could have Frank's family all here in one shot. I think that would be the most logical thing to do. So I'm okay with it. Everybody good?
I'd like to
Sounds
see how it looks like
Yeah.
it's,
It's a big app.
Is it out somewhere
I've
else
seen
now?
Where is it?
It must be
I think
somewhere.
it's the
one is
one
it?
at the Marlborough Library right now.
Okay.
Okay,
It's got some gold leaf on it, it's a gorgeous.
okay.
You could get out
You
of
can go
here.
anytime.
You could have left right after. I'm happy you stayed for a while.
bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
I still think she's doing another.
I don't know.
I love it.
Yes, you're good. Thank you. Thanks, Ted. Anybody else, or I'm going to resolutions?
Let's get her done here.
Resolutions, all right. All right. So this is Resolution 76 to reappoint members of Ulster County Planning Board. Supervisor Clerk proposes the following: where Cindy Lanzetta has been the member of the Ulster County Planning Board for the town of Marlborough, and where Cindy Lanzetta meets all the training requirements and continues on the Ulster County Planning Board for the town of Marlborough, be it resolved that Cindy Lanzetta be reappointed to the Ulster County Planning Board, be it further resolved that Chris Band be appointed as the alternate, and moves for its adoption.
Yes.
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 Yes. Well, we already pointed this one. That's good. And Resolution 78, to reappoint a Board of Assessment Review member. Supervisor Clerk proposes the following: whereas the advertisement was placed for the open position for the Board of Assessment Review, and whereas current board member Jeff Magliotto was the only letter of interest received, be it resolved that Jeff Magliotto be reappointed to the Board of Assessment Review effective October 1st, 2025, with the term date ending September 30th, 2030, and moves for its adoption.
Yes.
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 Yes. And I do need to ask the board one more thing. I need to re-advertise for the zoning board. We got only one application back, and I'd like to see a few more before we make a decision. As you know, George Slanovich resigned from the zoning board, so we have an open zoning board ZBA member appointment, so I'd like to ask the board to advertise for another week in the paper. So I just need a motion.
I'll make a motion to advertise for another week for the zoning board.
Need a second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Thank you. Manny, you're up.
All right, it's 8:33, and I make a motion to adjourn. And a good meeting, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.